Hey all, it's Linda. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm kind of doing something that I love to watch on other people's channels, but I have never done it myself, kind of because I've never really been able to do it. So I want to rank the last 10 palettes that I've tried. And I feel like for the most part, when I see people do this video, they're ranking palettes that they've tried in the last week or the last maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks. This goes back a little bit further than that because I don't get palettes as often as some other YouTubers. So some of these go maybe a couple months back, but still these are the last 10 palettes that I've tried and I want to rank them. And as soon as I started laying these out, I have them laid out in order here. First of all, I changed the order like 95 times, okay? And in those 95 times, I keep questioning myself. I keep questioning myself and I'm damning myself for doing this video. Why am I doing this? Why am I forcing myself to do this? Because when I look at this stack, there is only one palette I can say I didn't like. The rest of these I really, really enjoy. So it's very difficult for me. I'm very angry at myself for doing this and I really freaking hope you appreciate it. So give this video a thumbs up. Literally, I just rearranged the order again. That's where we are. I'm gonna leave it where it is. We're gonna start with number 10, the worst palette that I've tried recently. This is the Lahti London Vampire Diaries Love Sucks. This is the 6-pan. They have also created two other palettes that are shaped like coffins. Guys, I tried with this palette. I really did. I actually thought the color story was really cool. I liked the cool tones. I loved the idea of this sparkly, shifty, purpley blue and the deep, dark black matte. This performed like absolute shit for me. The black is the worst black I've ever tried in my life. It wasn't even gray. It was just patchy. It was not going on. No matter how much I tried to pack it on, it was terrible. And also, if I have videos or even Instagram, reels or anything for these products, I'm going to link them down below when I link the products so that you can take a look at them yourself. But this was by far number 10. Now, I have seen other people on Instagram try this and use it and they say they really loved it. And maybe they did, maybe they didn't, who knows? But I just really, really didn't like it. And this is the only product here I didn't like. I'm really nervous about doing this video. I gotta stop saying that I'm nervous about doing this video, even though I'm nervous about doing this video. Now, before I go into number 9, I need you to know that I genuinely mean it when I say the rest of these I really, really enjoyed. So this part was very hard for me. Coming in at number 9, we have a part of the Kaleidos and Alma Viva collection, and this is Twilight Rush. So this is the palette that is more purple toned. We do have a nice sparkly shifty purple up here. We've got a dusty purple, we've got a gray purple, and then we've got a shifty black charcoal gray. Even looking at it, I'm almost mad that I put it at number 9, but it's beautiful and that's where it belongs. That's where it belongs. This palette performed so beautifully though. The quality is so good. The metallics are fantastic and they just really pop. And when I say they are, I'm also referring to another Kaleidos palette that is in here. Maybe take a guess down below where you think that one is in the ranking, but I really, really enjoyed this palette. I just only ranked it number 9 because I haven't reached out for this palette more than maybe twice or 3 times since I've gotten it. But this ranking is kind of making me realize I really want to. So I'm going to probably do some more looks with this. Stay tuned for on my Instagram page because this is just so pretty. I love these quads. I love how this is puffy. Feels very delightful in the hand. At number 8, this is a palette that I showed on Instagram Reels, but I haven't really talked about it here on YouTube. This is the Wicked Widow Graveyard Smash palette. They sent this to me and this is my first time trying this brand. And I was super impressed. First of all, when I first saw the color story, I was kind of a little bit meh about it. But when I saw it in person, I was like, ooh, okay, I can see it there. I feel like these are really kind of grungy graveyard shades, right? This is a Halloween palette, but grungified a little bit. But these metallics are actually I promised myself that I would not do this for every single palette, but look how shifty that is. Even just a swatch. This is a shifty blue to green. The colors are really pretty. The mattes perform beautifully. This is a very impressive palette. The only reason I ranked it at number 8, a little bit lower on the scale, is because, again, I've only reached for this about twice since I've gotten it. But to be fair, I only did receive this, I think, maybe 2 weeks ago. So I do want to reach for this more. I do want to play with this more, but I haven't used it enough to, send it to, number 1 on my list. I really do like it, but it's at number 8. I just closed my hair in the palette. That's great. For number 7, oh my gosh, why am I putting it this low? It's fine, it's fine. Number 7 is the Urban Decay Naked Metal Mania palette. And guys, I really like this palette a lot. I know that a lot of people have talked such shit about this palette, and I get it. I get it, okay? I think a lot of people are like over the whole naked thing. But this palette in particular, I really loved. The metallics are so metallic. I put this silver one all over my face in the last tutorial that I used this on, and you can catch that on my channel. I just really had fun playing with this, and I've used it a lot. The only reason that it's down further lower is because I feel like I keep having a tendency to use like the browns, and I'm not really getting as much use as I thought I would out of these metallics, which are the star of the show. You can get browns in any palette, and these are really well-performing browns, so I'm not saying that, but it's just like the stars of the show are these metallics. The stars are the ones that made me fall in love with this palette, but I'm not using them enough. So this is at number 7, but I do want to encourage you. If you see this in your local Ulta or Sephora, try it. Just do a swatch of it because I think you're going to be really impressed. At number 6, we have the Kaleidos Alma Viva. This is Venus Trap, and this was the palette that surprised the hell out of me. So this is cool toned. We've got kind of a mauvey pink up here, matte, and then we've got taupes down here, and we've got a very insanely metallic silver that I absolutely love. I've used this palette several times, and I really, really, really like it. And I am not usually a cool toned taupey kind of girl, right? If I'm doing a cool tone, it's likely vibrant blues or greens or purples. It's usually not neutrals like this. But I have been surprisingly in love with this color story. I think that Kaleidos does quads really, really well. I think they're very underrated. This one in particular, I think is a banger. Like both of these, I know that the Alma Viva collection really didn't get that much love. And I get it. A lot of people thought it was a dupe for the Night of Creation collection, but I don't personally think it was. I did do some swatches over on my Instagram where I showed the differences between the two, and to me, they are very different. Very different. Night of Creation is very purple. This is not as purple. So I don't know. I just really, really liked this one, and this one just surprised me how much I loved it. Somehow we are already in the top 5. So at the number 5 spot, we have the Fantasy Cosmetica Warlock palette. This is my first time trying this brand, and I really enjoy playing with this. I've picked this up multiple times since I've gotten it, and the quality is really, really good. And I was going to say it's good for an indie brand. No, it's just really good. These metallics are intensely pigmented, intensely vibrant, intensely shifty, and I'm just really impressed. The mattes perform very, very well, and this color story is just cool. Right? Like it's really cool, and it's not like anything I have. So this one really just kind of excited me. I opened it up and went, okay, I see I can do this look, and oh, I can also do this look, which means I've picked it up multiple times at this point, which is why it's higher up in my list. I really, really, really enjoy this. I'm so happy they sent this to me because, to be honest, they were not a brand that was completely on my radar, and now they are, and I'm just like, hello, what's next? Give it to me. We're in the top 4. We're in the top 4. If you want to take any guesses, put them down below. But at number 4, we are going with the Odins Ey and Angelica Nyqvist Little Ghost palette. So this is your non-traditional Halloween color story palette. I thought I wouldn't like this one. I'm just going to be honest. I thought this one was like pretty for other people. I have loved this one. I have reached for it multiple times since I've gotten it, and every shade performs like a freaking dream, okay? Like a dream. Even the shade that I really thought I wouldn't get a use out of, which is Boo, which is more of a topper, a shifty topper, I've used so many times. These mattes right here, these 2 dark mattes, so many times. I just can't believe how many times I've reached for this. And I think the color story is really kind of underrated, right? Like I know you don't look at this and maybe immediately see Halloween, but I see so many different combinations. Like this is my candy palette, okay? Maybe some people think of Halloween as just like orange and black, which I'm wearing just orange and black. But to me, this is the candy that you get at Halloween, right? And I'm just kind of so enthralled by it. Even looking at it, I'm like, I see so many other looks I could do that I haven't touched yet. So many. We are already in the top 3, people, and coming in at number 3, we have the Trick or Treat palette from the same collection. This one, like when I was looking between the Little Ghost palette and this one, I mean, this one just does stand out for me because it's those kind of grungy, earthy tones, which I absolutely love. But then you've got a shade like Crypt Keeper, which is one of the prettiest shades I own at this point. It is a deep, grungy, dark green with gold shimmer, and it's just perfection. But all of these shades are perfection. The number of times at this point I have used Howl, which is this kind of like mustardy yellow, and also Cauldron, which is a very deep dark green. Let's just say it's a lot, okay? It's a lot. I have used this palette so much since I've gotten it. This is the one that I took with me when I went on my trip to Florida with the other influencers. It's one of the only palettes I took with me because I knew that this is kind of one of my dream color stories. So yeah, this is number 3 for me. Little Ghost is number 4, but they're neck and neck. There are only 2 more palettes to go. I bet you guys are going to be surprised at what my number 1 palette is. I bet you're going to be surprised, but at number 2, we have the Melt Halloween Town palette. I was surprised by this palette too. I really was, because I knew when I saw the pictures, I was like, oh, that's a neat color story, but I didn't think I would love it as much as I do. And I've used this palette multiple times since getting it. The only reason it's not number 1 is because I only just got it. I feel like I can't put this as the very best palette because I've only had like a week to use it at this point. And I love it, and I've used it multiple times in that week, but it has only been a week. So these colors performed so good for me, and I'm so disappointed because I saw somebody on another community saying how the mattes were patchy for them or something like that. The mattes have been amazing for me. Like, this is old school peak melt quality for me. This is old school peak melt kitsch for me, and I love the theming. I love the color names. I just really, really, really love this palette. I've had so much fun playing with this, but it's not number 1. It's not number 1. Coming in at number 1, and this palette is a little bit older, but again, it is one of the last 10 palettes I've tried, Nomad Ghost Town. For so many reasons, this is number 1, okay? First, the color story is obviously amazing, right? It's obviously amazing. These are just deep. I keep saying grungy, but this is grungy, right? The tones are so perfectly muted, but in an opaque way, if that makes sense. It's not that they're muted and patchy. They're just muted, but they're buildable, and there's so many different color stories in here. I am so turned on sexually by this palette, like sexually. It's just really, really good, and I have reached for this so many times at this point. This has become one of my all-time favorite palettes that I've been using. I've used it so much, and just the quality is brilliant. This is like my perfect Nomad quality. This is just perfect. And I see a lot of people, I do chat in a few makeup communities, and a lot of people say that this is their all-time favorite Nomad palette, and I might have to agree. This is just so, so, so good. They spent so much time on this and put so much good energy into this. It's just fantastic. So my number 1 palette out of the last 10 that I've tried has been the Nomad Ghost Town. So that's it. This video is a bit short and sweet, but I just wanted to lay out the last 10 palettes I've used and rank them for you. I want you to let me know what has been your favorite palette recently. And this doesn't even have to be a new palette. This can totally just be like, what have you been reaching for? And what's on your wish list? Like, let's talk about palettes, because I really like talking about palettes. But that's it. If you liked this video, I would love if you give it a thumbs up. That really, really does help out my channel. Everything I talked about is going to be linked down below. And if you choose to purchase any of these palettes through those links or use any of my discount codes, please know I'm so, so appreciative. Those types of things really help keep my channel going. I am still a smallish channel, and any little bit helps. You all can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Those are all GlitterFallout. And as always and forever, you are super freaking rock stars. I love you so much with my whole heart. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. My hat is falling off.